All right, what's up, everybody? It's Daniel here with Roar United. As you can see, we are not on our usual set. We are here on site with Mr. Daniel Whitehead. We're going to get ourselves a little bit of an interview. So stick around, grab yourself a cup of coffee, grab a pen, grab a Bible, and we will see you right here after the intro. Welcome back. So why don't you go ahead and just tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name is Daniel Whitehead, and I'm the owner of Redeemed Concrete. I am an ex-addict of 12 years of heroin and meth. I got delivered in 2020,
Okay.
and I'd lost my family and life and everything, and God gave that all back to me in 2020. And you're here in my house with my family today. That's how good God is.
Yeah. And you have an absolutely beautiful family. I know we go to church together, and I've had the opportunity to spend a fair bit of time with most of your family.
Yeah.
And it's just sweet, sweet family. They're absolutely a blessing. So were you raised in church? Did you grow up knowing God? Or is it something that you came to later on in life? And
No, I absolutely was raised in church.
Okay.
We actually had a church group growing up as kids that we traveled around with. It was me,
wow.
my younger brother, my two older sisters, and we were all under 10.
Okay.
And we went all over Middle Tennessee just about every night of the week singing gospel music.
Wow.
And it got to the point where we were missing school because, you're out 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning traveling from,
Right.
miles away to go to a church. And then we just kind of slowed down on it. And but yeah, I've known God my whole life. If you want, I can tell you kind of what happened to me.
Yeah, I would love to.
Okay, that's a good place to start from. So we was in church. We kind of got out of church when my uncle passed away. My dad got into a deep depression and started drinking again. And then we kind of slid out of church. And around 13 years old, I got Rocky Mountain spotted tick fever.
Okay.
And I got bit by a tick. But I went to the hospital, and the hospital thought it was scarlet fever.
Okay.
So they're giving me all this medicine for this rash and this fever, and I've had this fever for a couple days. Well, they send me home with medicine for scarlet fever, and then 4 or 5 days pass. I've still got a fever of 104. My mom's having to put me down in bathtubs to try to get my fever down. And is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. And so anyway, we go back and they figure out, hey, we've misdiagnosed you. You have Rocky Mountain spotted tick fever. But they send me home with the scarlet fever medicine. So around 26 years old, I'm done married at this time. Married my high school sweetheart, Casey. We did everything. White picket fence, high school sweethearts,
Yeah.
perfect life. But around 26 years old, my hips, my joints just went out. I was in so much pain. My dad, me as a 26-year-old man, he had to pick me up and take me to the emergency room on a job site one day. And I would go to the hospital, and I went for weeks, I went for months, I went for years. They could not find out what was causing the problems. And then I get a hold of a doctor that says, hey, you have Lyme disease. Let's check your levels. So he finds out, hey, when you were 13 years old, you never got treated for Lyme disease. You got medicine for scarlet fever. You've had this for 13 years. It's destroyed in that time.
Yeah.
There's no coming back from it.
Yeah.
So they asked me, we can't fix you, but we can give you pain medicine. And I'm like, dude, I got all kinds of pain medicine at the house, And they're like, what do you got? I said, I've got Tylenol, ibuprofen. I was 26 years old.
Yeah.
I'd never done a drug in my life.
Yeah.
I mean,
Absolutely.
I did, do a little recreational marijuana use as a teenager. Didn't like it, wasn't my thing. But I'd never done a drug.
Right.
Like I said, we was raised in church. And so they're like, no, we're going to give you some Percocets. And I was like, okay.
Okay.
So I go home and I take this medicine and I work like a borrowed mule. I mean, I can work all day, come home. Now I got kids, I can play with them. And around that time, something happened between me and my wife that devastated me. It was something that I couldn't just jump back from. It's something that I couldn't just bounce back from. It was something that ate me alive. We went to meetings. I went to see people and talk to people. I couldn't get it out of my head. It's something that collapsed me in as that young man with pride walking around with his chest out with a beautiful wife to something that was crumbled and was nothing. And it never went away. And it just started fights with me and my wife every day. And then one day I took a little extra medicine, and that's when it hit me. I can take enough of this medicine and it won't only fix my joints, it'll fix the pain in my mind and in my heart. And once I realized, hey, I can live like this, I can look at her, I can talk to her like this, I wanted to stay like that, because it was like God had took an eraser and erased what I wanted out.
Yeah.
As I started living like that, she started seeing addiction come in.
Right.
I seen it as, I've tried everything, I can't fix it.
Yeah.
I've tried this and it's working. I'd never done a drug. The doctor was giving them to me. I didn't know there was such thing as a doctor giving you medicine and you could get addicted. I had no idea.
Absolutely.
So we go through a couple of months, maybe a year, we have some more kids. I'm further and further into this. Now, without it, I'm sick. Without it, I'm hurting here again.
Yeah.
So then you start buying it on the streets. Right. Me and Casey are still fighting. I'm in and out of jail. I'm missing work, losing jobs. Things are terrible. Now I'm at the point where if I don't have something about every 8 hours, I'm pill sick.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you know what that is or if people listening do, but being pill sick to me is like having COVID and food poisoning at the same time. I was throwing up, sick, fever, hot, cold. It was terrible. And I knew all I had to do was go find one pill.
Yeah.
And I would be fine. We kept fighting, kept arguing. I got deeper and deeper and deeper into addiction. We ended up divorcing. We had 3 kids now. She goes with a guy and who's an alcoholic. I end up with a woman who's an alcoholic. When my kids aren't with me, which is very rare at this time.
Right.
I mean, she wouldn't let me see them a lot.
Right.
They was with her and another man arguing and fighting because he was an alcoholic. When they were with me, I was so high or sick I couldn't even mess with them, play with them, enjoy time with them. So my kids had it really rough. So at this time, I'm about at my wit's end.
Yeah.
Because now I'm homeless in sometimes, and I'm sleeping on people's couches. I start using IV drugs, so the pills went from pills to shooting pills.
Yeah.
Now I'm taking meth, so I'm not pain pill sick. At one point I was homeless, and the only thing I had to draw my drugs up with was a mud puddle. So I pulled up mud puddle water to mix my drugs up to shoot. When I tell you you've seen some movies where people are addicts, needle junkies. That's nothing. I was holding hands with the devil, bro. I was holding hands with the devil. It was every day, darkness. The people I was around. I looked around one day and realized everybody is just like me. They lost their kids. She lost her husband. He lost his wife. None of them have cars. None of us have jobs. Yeah. It was just a terrible, terrible, dark, depressing, suicidal time.
Yeah.
I overdosed and died 4 times on fentanyl. Fentanyl was a cheaper drug, and you could get it for cheap, and it lasts longer.
Right.
So I overdosed and died on that. My wife's over here with a guy that's beating her. I'm with a woman now that's an alcoholic and a drug user. My kids are trying to bounce back and forth when they can through all of this mess. And I end up giving myself a dirty shot. When I mean dirty, I mean there was a lot of nasty bacteria and stuff in this shot when I give myself, and it instantly shut my liver and kidneys down. Now I'm at my girlfriend's house. Casey calls me for some reason. We haven't talked in months. And she says, I didn't know this at the time. I thought she was still with old dude, you know. She calls me and she hears me and I'm bad. Like my liver shut down, my kidney shut down. I don't know this.
Right.
But I'm laying in this bed and she's like, Daniel, what's wrong with you? And I was like, I don't know, I'm just sick. And she said, Daniel, you're going to die if you keep doing what you're doing. She said, I'm coming down to pray for you. Now, I didn't know that she was even in church. See, God had come to her 6 months earlier.
Wow.
While she was drinking and says, you either put that down or you're going to end up just like your dad, an alcoholic. She dropped what she was doing, left the guy she was with, brought her kids back home to the house we lived in. Nobody was there. We was both at other places. And started going to church and living right. Now, I didn't know this. I'm in the deepest, darkest part of addiction that I'd ever been in. So she comes down and she busts through this door of my girlfriend's house. Where's Daniel? What are you doing in here? Get out. I'm laying hands on him. Me and Paisley's laying hands on him. She comes in there and I'm in this bed. I'm literally on my deathbed. I just didn't know it. Lays hands on me, starts speaking in tongues and healing over me. And they get up and leave. The next day I start projectile vomiting. And I don't mean like Daniel's throwing up.
Yeah.
I mean, my liver and kidneys had shut down and there was stuff going through my body that had no way out.
Right.
5-gallon buckets at a time. I was dying.
Yeah.
Now you got to think I'd overdosed and died 4 times.
Right.
Didn't think nothing of it. People Narcan you. You wake up in a field.
Absolutely.
This time I knew something was wrong. And on top of that, I had double pneumonia.
Oh.
So I tell my girlfriend, I'm like, hey, I can't walk, but I need to go to the emergency room.
Yeah.
So they find an old wheelchair out in this 1900s house that we were staying. It was just a dope house. Mm-hmm. They get me in the truck and they take me to the hospital. I go in and they're putting me on the machine that checks your blood pressure, you know, and this thing is going on and off for like 5 minutes. And I'm like, guys, you know, I'm because I have double pneumonia. Right. I didn't know it. I didn't know my liver and kidneys were shutting down. I was like, what's going on? Can I just go back? And they're like, you have no blood pressure. And I was like, what does that mean? And they rushed me back. The doctor comes in and he says, you're septic.
Yeah.
You have double pneumonia. Your kidneys have failed and your liver has failed. Your percentage of living is not even in the numbers that I can give you, so it makes sense. We're going to do a heart scan on you to see if you have endocarditis, which is plaque in your heart from all the IV drugs you use. It's going to take about 45 minutes. I said, okay, but your girlfriend can't come in. So my girlfriend leaves. I do this test. I'm sitting down in the basement, can't breathe. When I mean basement of this hospital, when they took me to do that test, they put me in the basement. I look across the room and see people dead on gurneys with plastic over them. And right then I said, Lord Jesus, I have known you my whole life. This is not the man I wanted to be. This is not where I wanted to be. I cannot die. My kids cannot say my dad was a good man, but he was a junkie and drugs killed him. Lord, please don't let that happen. God, I have asked you, I would be shooting up drugs and say, God, take it from me. This is not me. Please take it from me. For 12 years. I fell into a coma right then. 5 days later, I wake up. And you'll never guess what was sitting across the room. My ex-wife. You got to think, my ex-wife, I hated, okay? Because things had happened and it destroyed me from the inside, and I'm looking at it through addiction eyes. So you did this to our family, you did this to me, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But I didn't see that person like that anymore. My mom was there, and she looked about 20 years younger than I've ever seen her.
Yeah.
My daughter Paisley was old enough to come back, and when I seen Paisley was not 9 years old no more. She was 13. And I couldn't figure out what was going on. But I'd been in addiction for so long, I still seen her as a 9-year-old kid.
Yeah.
God did something to me in that coma. When I woke up 5 days, I should have been so bad off wanting heroin
Yeah.
that I would have chewed my arm off to get out of that hospital to go get it.
Absolutely.
But when I woke up, I knew that he had changed me. I knew it.
Yeah.
With 100%, I knew it. I've been begging for it and begging for it. Dying, overdosing didn't do anything for me.
Yeah.
But waking up with my mom there, my ex-wife, my brother, I couldn't hide what I was doing then.
Yeah.
You know, there's no way out of it.
Right.
So my ex-wife says, hey, if you want to come stay with me, if you'll not do drugs, you can heal up. Because it takes a while for you once your kidneys and liver shut down and you're septic, it takes a while, months for you to start walking again and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm not coming home with you. I'll go home with my mom and dad. Because I still had memories
Yeah.
that I didn't want to be around her and cuss her, call her names. That's what I was doing for years.
Right.
So I go home with my mom, and Casey says, hey, I'm there about a week. She's like, why don't you come stay on the couch? And I'm like, I can come stay on the couch, but Casey, you know what it's like when me and you are around each other. I don't want to do that no more, you know. So I come stay on the couch, and while I'm there, she goes to work, the kids go to school. I'm just sitting there on the couch healing. I'm not working or anything because I can't.
Yeah.
I mean, she hooks me up with these pastors on YouTube. I'd never watched YouTube. Shane Warren, Perry Stone.
Really?
Yeah. So I get into this, and I'm like, I knew God had changed me. I knew people would come in the hospital to visit me and go, you're a different person. And I'm like, yes, I know this.
That's awesome.
But weeks ago, I was an addict.
Yeah.
So I'm still in this making sure that what God did, he did.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So Casey's, you know, like, well, why don't you want to sit on the couch with me, or what? You know what? I'm like, listen, I know where this is going.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be in that position until I know 110% that I can be the man you need me to be, that I can be the father that my kids need me to be. I stayed on that couch watching YouTube, watching all of these preachers, learning, and just getting filled with the Spirit, getting wisdom.
Yeah.
6 months later, we'd not held hands, kissed, touched, or anything. 6 months later, I hear God's voice. You need to marry her. So I call her up, and I'm like, Casey, I'm ready to marry you. What? What? And I'm like, I'm there. I know I'm not going back.
Yeah.
I'm a changed man. I'm not going to go back to addiction. We got married. I got my kids back. I got my life back. I go to church after church to give my testimony. Now I'm in jail ministry in Jackson County, jail ministry in Putnam County. I have, my own concrete business, Redeemed Concrete.
Yeah.
God has given me back what the devil took. He took everything, my house, my cars, my kids, my wife. God give me all that back and give us a new house, new cars. I can't say, there's no words. I'm an old country boy.
Yeah.
I don't have the vocabulary to give God praise enough. I just tell him every morning, God, I want to get on a mountain and just scream how great you are.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
Absolutely.
That's where I'm at.
When I think of the goodness of the Lord and all he has done for me.
That's it, man. That's it. So now I just do everything I can just for wisdom, man.
Yeah.
I just want wisdom because I know I can't do it on my own.
Absolutely.
I've tried that before. It didn't work out.
Right there with you.
So I'm a blessed man everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere. I'm a blessed man.
Yeah. And it's really a testament to the goodness and the redeeming power of God.
Absolutely.
I mean, you don't look like nothing what you've been through.
That's what everybody says.
And that's really, really amazing because I know so many people who have come out of addiction that have found God, and like they're not the people they used to be. But you can look at them and you're like,
Yeah, you
yeah,
can tell.
once upon a time,
Yeah.
he's a little rough around the edges.
Yeah, that dude was running hard. Yeah.
But I mean, I definitely didn't, and I don't think most people would ever know meeting you.
Yeah.
Where you came from on that one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool because I can meet people, and I'll see people that I haven't seen in a while, and they know they've heard through my family or whatever, and they're like, Daniel, you've changed from your head to your toe. Like you are, what God has done to you, it's God, and it's very noticeable. And I'm a man. I'm still flesh, and I'm not perfect.
Absolutely.
But today, before you came, we didn't know how this was going to go. I didn't know, I didn't know what questions or what we was going to do or how it was going to lay out. And I walked my property, and I said, Lord, I don't want to belittle my testimony. I don't want Daniel to be in this.
Yeah.
I want everything.
So you were walking the property.
I'm walking the property today nervous that you're coming over here.
Really?
I've shot podcasts down here before, but I'm always asking people questions. But I'm nervous because I do not want to, I don't want to tell my testimony and it go everywhere and God not get 110% of the fullness of glory that he's supposed to get.
Absolutely.
I'm like, God, this is not about Daniel.
Yeah.
I do not want it to be about Daniel.
Right.
I want this to be about, and not you, Daniel, me, Daniel.
I don't want it to be about me, Daniel,
but
either.
I was like, I want this to be about you.
Yeah.
Because when I go to jail and I give my testimony or other places, I lift God up, but I get all kinds of hugs and, man, thank you for coming in the jail and telling your testimony. And I didn't want that.
Yeah.
I want God to get the glory for it. So I was like, God, I just didn't want to build Daniel up. I wanted to build God up.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So I was nervous, and I've never been nervous like that before, and not in a long time. So thank you for making me nervous today, Daniel.
Hey, listen, sometimes one of the best things that God can do for us is move us outside of our own paradigm and put us in a spot where we're not at home and we're not comfortable and kind of force that growth out of us.
I'm glad you said that because that makes total sense to me. Because you get comfortable in a place, and you stay in that place.
Yeah.
So he might have made me nervous just so I would get deeper in prayer with him and grow from it.
Yeah. I've actually got it put on my Instagram. I've got a post up there that I made that says, "Comfort is the coffin of calling."
Absolutely.
And
I like that.
It's comfort, especially to us as men, is one of the most dangerous things, especially as men of God. Mm-hmm. Like comfort is what makes the Israelites wish that they were back in Egypt still in slavery.
Yes, sir.
If you look at the life of David, when he really fell, when he had the whole thing where he slept with Bathsheba, that passage says in the time when kings go out to war, David was at home.
Yeah.
And so it's in that place of comfort where we lose so much of it because we get comfortable, we get complacent, we get stuck in the routine, and this is really a dangerous thing within the church. And a very unplanned kind of pivot is we get into the church routine and the church cycle, and it becomes more about like walking out that cycle of comfort than it is about actually having a relationship with Jesus. Just, in the same way that you were talking, like it becomes less about being high and more about just not being sick and just walking through that day-to-day cycle.
That was good. You're exactly right, man. That was really good. One thing I've learned is I have a spectacular wife.
You do.
My wife, with my hips hurting and my Lyme disease and my poor concrete, and she will get up and she will say, honey, are you going to church this morning? And I'll say, eh. And she'll go, honey, you're the leader of the house. The kids are going to follow you. And I'm like, she'll come back in, honey, are you riding with me or are you riding with brother? I'm like, so thank God
Yeah.
for that.
Absolutely.
Because
I can
if
hear her
I
doing
was
that
by
too.
myself,
Yeah.
I could let the world push me down in
Absolutely.
pain and just the overthinking of work and what I'm going to do Monday, who am I going to have
Yeah.
at this job and that job, and this just I got to call this customer, and it just crushes me down. And then I
Right.
go to church, and I'm like, thank Jesus I went to church. I needed to hear
Yeah.
that word today. I needed to be around those people.
Absolutely.
And I'm just thankful that I have that wife that is walking beside me.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
behind every good man is a good woman holding him up. And I try to let my daughter know God, husband, wife.
Yeah.
Because when I'm looking at God, my wife's looking at me looking at God. My kids are looking at my wife looking at me looking at God. And before I was looking at something else, and she was looking at something else. And who knows what the kids were looking at.
Yeah.
Who knows what came in and tried to take the kids. Or so I'm thankful because God did not only change me. 6 months before me, he changed my wife. And I believe that's why when I woke up in the coma, I didn't see who I used to see when I woke up. God had changed her because he knew what he was about to do to me.
Right.
He needed to do something to her. He had it all planned out.
Yeah.
There was no misstep, back up on
Absolutely.
this. I shouldn't have done that. He had it all planned out. And
Almost like he's God or something.
it's almost like he's perfect in every way.
Yeah.
Thank the Lord for that.
Yeah.
Man.
That's so good. And I know I've kind of like briefly commented on y'all's post talking about how, you know, y'all are awesome. And as a single dude in the church, like, you guys are really one of those couples that I look at and I'm like, that's the godly marriage that someone should strive for. And I'm sure, you know, y'all aren't perfect. You have your fights and your disagreements and your bad days and your shortcomings, as you do in any relationship. But God has not just restored your relationship, but really held you guys up as a picture of what a godly marriage looks like, and as a reflection of him and his bride.
Well, I think a man is known by his fruits. And I believe if you didn't see that, there would be something not exactly right.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're supposed to be seen like that.
Absolutely.
We're supposed to be the salt of the earth. And I appreciate that. I really appreciate that, man.
And, you know, what you were getting at about, you know, your kids look at your wife and they look at you, and your wife looks at you looking at God, and you're looking at God. And I think really that's getting into kind of the essence of where we as a culture have kind of lost the plot is, and this is something that it's a favorite topic of mine to harp on, is the progressive deterioration of the nuclear family.
The nuclear family.
Specifically in America.
I had a guy on the show the other day, and he said the exact same thing. And that is 100% right.
Yeah.
Charlie Kirk, he
Absolutely.
threw that out there a lot. Didn't make
Absolutely.
sense to people, but it makes sense on paper.
Yeah.
If you do not have that man and woman raising their kids, God always has to be there.
Yeah.
But even a man and a woman that raising their kids right is disappeared now.
Yeah.
It's disappeared.
It really has.
And I don't know the percentage of kids that don't have parents, but I remember when I was growing up, my mom went through a lot of stuff with my dad. He was an alcoholic, did a lot of stuff. Then we got into church. I was telling you, we went, you know, and sang and stuff. But my mom, she'd tell me a bunch, I'm divorcing your dad. I'm getting away from it, and blah, blah, blah. And I would always be like, well, I'm staying with Dad, just to get her to stay there, because I wanted that. That's all I knew.
Yeah.
And then I would go to school, or I'd go spend the night with friends who only had a mom or who only had a dad.
Yeah.
And my family may have been, my dad may have been an alcoholic at times, and things might have been rough, but I had my dad and mom.
Yeah.
And that creates a backbone for a man when he gets older.
Absolutely.
That mom and dad stuck it out
Yeah.
through alcoholism, through church, in and out of church. They stuck it out. They pulled together. They were together 49 years, and my mother passed last month.
Yeah.
But that says a lot
Absolutely.
About that, because kids nowadays, they're not looking at mom and dad.
No.
One thing, mom and dad's not there. They're looking at their phone. They're looking at a computer screen. They're looking at. They're listening to music. They're anything and everything.
Yeah.
That needs to be a distraction is now a distraction. The devil is throwing haymakers from way back, and if we're not careful, look at America.
Absolutely.
Look at America.
Absolutely.
What else can I say?
I heard a quote. I don't remember who it's from, but it was said, it was something very similar to, we can't be surprised as Christians when we trust Rome to educate our children and they come home as Romans.
That's it.
And
that's it.
It's
there's an agenda.
It speaks to a lot. Yeah.
There's an agenda. There's definitely an agenda.
We were talking about that last night at Bible study. It's the demonic agenda and it's demons that topple empires. And we were going through Romans 1, talking about the suppression of truth and the things that come with that. And I was explaining the cycle of, you look at all of these great empires throughout history, and there's always this kind of key tipping point. And from the second that tipping point takes place, it all follows the same pattern downhill till it hits the ground.
Is it, I think there's a 250 years, or there's a statistic that a country will rise up to power, and for so many years, then it goes down, and it's usually around the same time period. I can't wait to Pastor Shane's going to come on, and we're going to talk a lot about the Nephilim and Genesis 6, and
That'll be good.
Love learning about that.
That's any of my guys can tell you that's another one of my favorite ranting topics.
I'm addicted. I am addicted.
Yeah.
I was telling my nephew the other day, he'd never heard of it, which I was 38 years old before I'd heard of it, and now that's all I can think about. I'm like, man, what?
We were talking about that last night, because I have the guys over at the house, and Mom usually fixes dinner. And so we sit there and we fellowship and eat before Bible study, and one of the guys asked me about how I thought the pyramids were built. And I was like, oh, brother.
Thank you for asking.
Like, I might as well have just like reached up into the sky and pulled a whiteboard down.
Yeah, well, you know that now they're saying there's a lot bigger structure underneath the pyramid.
Yeah. I've heard that. I've heard that a lot, kind of just as a, like, it was almost a joke for a period of time.
Yeah, it's like whatever, you know.
But I've heard people talk about how the pyramids are actually just the top of giant obelisks.
Yes.
And man, there's so much.
You got to think when the flood come in, and I know we're way off subject here, but when the flood came in, you've got billions, trillions of tons of stuff it's pushing.
Absolutely.
And when I mean feet, I'm talking hundreds, maybe even thousands of feet. You get a huge wave coming across the globe, and it just picks up all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And you got some giants sitting there, and it covers them up so deep and compresses them over time that there's nothing left. God, He's going to reveal when He wants to reveal.
Right.
But there's a lot that our little human brains cannot fathom.
And we were getting into that. You know, you look at the Bible talks about the utter wickedness of the days of Noah before the flood.
Yeah.
And, you know, you kind of look through the Bible, and, you know, you see all the sin through the Bible, and it's, you know, fairly consistently the same sin. And so, you know, you're thinking, what was so horrible in the days of Noah?
Yeah, why doesn't He take us out now? It's worse now than it was then. Yeah.
This I absolutely cannot abide by. And then you start looking at things like the Book of Enoch.
Yeah.
And I was talking to him about how when you kind of plug that in, not just to the Bible, but into history in general, there's so many things that fall together in a way that's just like way too convenient.
Yep.
Like you see, I was talking specifically, you know, all these ancient cultures, they all have these half animal gods that came down from the sky and were worshipped as, as deities on the earth.
Yeah.
And you start looking at, it says in Revelation that as in the days of Noah, and now how we're starting to push towards that transhumanism.
Yes.
And all of that again, only this time, instead of it being occult in origin, it's technological in origin.
That's right. Well, he who was it, Joshua? I don't think it was, but he said, go in and kill everybody. And I want you to kill every chicken, horse, goat.
Absolutely.
There's a reason.
Uh-huh.
There's a reason for that. What is that Greek? I think it's it's like he's got a cow head, a bull head,
The Minotaur.
The Minotaur.
Yeah,
I believe that was real.
Yeah, absolutely.
I believe that the seed was trying to spread and mess up everything.
Well, when you study the Bible, the war is always for the seed.
The seed.
It's always for the next generation.
Yep.
And so Satan seeks to destroy the seed in the next generation. You look at Moses in Egypt, and what does Pharaoh do? Pharaoh, as this kind of prophetic picture of the enemy, Egypt is the world system. What does he do? He goes in, he slaughters the next generation.
Yeah. Yep.
Jesus is born. What does Herod do? He goes in and slaughters the next generation.
Well, that was the whole reason for. Well, I believe it was the plan of the devil to mangle with the seed, so Jesus couldn't be produced, because he knew that the Son of Man would come, and if it wasn't pure, it couldn't exist.
Yeah.
So let's just mess up the seed,
Right.
and he'll never be here.
Right. No, but I'm a very firm believer in all of that stuff was very, very real.
Yes.
And
Anunnaki, they're more than just when they say the gods come down from the stars, there's something in that.
Right.
Because they did. They're fallen angels.
There's a reason that it's everywhere.
Yes.
And
in every culture.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why the flood is in every culture. There's a reason why that these demigods were worshipped.
Yeah.
There's a Hercules. There's a reason why that story's there. Because these guys were stronger, faster.
Absolutely.
And just like you said with transhumanism, if they can get a baboon's strength and a cheetah's agility, and they're going to try to do this and make an army.
Yeah. Well, if you really want to go down the rabbit hole, like deep down it, there's a boy who's been on a couple podcasts. His name is Nathan Reynolds.
Okay.
And he was raised up in an occult family, like very long occult bloodline. Believe they're descended from
the Nephilim.
These people.
Does he say he's got Nephilim blood?
Yes,
I have seen him.
I think so. Yeah, and he's talked about.
And he just comes out and tells everything that he's learned.
And he's talking
and
about
heard.
how the military is using that now, currently, and all the stuff they're doing. And then you look at, some of the things that Elon Musk has coming down the pipeline. However you feel about him to one way or another, you're looking at that, and you can't, even if that's not his intention,
right?
It's still the agenda, because we're so quick to be like, oh, it's this person, but the battle's not flesh and blood.
Yeah.
So the fact that something is advancing the agenda doesn't necessarily mean that it's that person.
Right.
Like the fact that he's doing things that, yes, in a way are advancing the agenda, that doesn't overtly make him the Antichrist.
Right.
That just means that at some point the system of the world has influence.
Yes.
Which is what happens when you're not saved.
Well, you can take a knife and cut butter. I can take that same knife and kill somebody with it.
Absolutely.
So the technology could be used for good.
Absolutely.
Will be the same technology used for evil.
Absolutely. And that's a super physical picture of the spiritual realm.
Absolutely.
Because when you really, really get into studying what witchcraft is and how it works, and all of these like very dark, demonic things that we're called to stand against, all it really is it's just an inversion of what we're doing as the church. There's a gentleman, he was the head of the Satanic Church in South Africa. His name is Rian Zweigler. And he talks about how like blood is a spiritual currency. And so that's why these Satanists, there's always like sacrifices being done. They're sacrificing animals and they're sacrificing humans because there is currency there's a spiritual currency in that, and life is in the blood. That's why a lot of ancient religions, yes sir, thank you very much. That's why a lot of ancient religions believe in, drinking blood for immortality.
Yeah.
Is there is something special about the blood. And all it is it's a cheap imitation of what Christ has done for us.
Yeah. Well, it's always the reverse of what
Yeah.
really supposed to be happening. He puts a backspin on it and does it the exact opposite. And
Yeah.
yeah, you can ask the ChatGPT if vampires exist, and it'll say yes.
Yeah.
And you can say, "Can you tell me any names?" And it'll say, "I can't do that."
Yeah.
And you can say, "Well, is anybody listening to us? If so, say Apple." Apple.
Yeah.
So it even knows.
Well, there's a gentleman that I saw. He came across my feed. He's some sort of technological someone, and he's doing a project right now using transfusions of his son's blood to reverse his aging process.
I've seen that.
And so you look at that, and you look at all of these things that we've been told for years as kids, like, oh, that's not real. It's just a story. It's just, and then when you look at, this is, getting into a different side of the rabbit hole, but when you look at how these secret societies talk about how they introduce their agenda through fictitious media, you start looking at it, you're like, well, hold on now. Maybe there's something to that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, kind of coming out of that background of witchcraft, and with having the experience with that I have, because I'm Native American, and I grew up in a lot of cultural witchcraft, because it was things that were framed to me as like, oh, it's just tradition, it's just culture, it's just what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And right, it's the danger of not knowing, because what you don't know can and will hurt you.
Absolutely.
But hearing these stories about the giants that live in the mountains, the people that live underground.
Kandar?
Yeah.
Is that?
I think so.
Or
Might be a different tribe, but yeah.
Oh no, the Kandar giant, or Kandar giant. It's
right.
In Afghanistan. Have you heard about this?
Is it the one with the red hair?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The soldiers went in, and they never come back. And I hate to get you off topic.
Oh no, you're good.
But they never come back. So another group of soldiers go, and they come across this cave, and all of a sudden they see body parts in front of the cave, and all of a sudden like a 10-foot spear comes through and kills a guy, and then this 12-foot giant comes out. And this comes from a guy that was, he wasn't SEAL team or something, but he was in the group of special ops or whatever goes up there, and he just tells them they killed the thing, they mowed it down, a helicopter came and picked it up and put it on a ship.
Yeah,
a huge red-headed giant in Afghanistan, I want to say.
I think I did hear about it. I didn't hear that it was Afghanistan, but I did hear something similar to that.
But now there's red-headed giants in America that the Indians pushed and pushed and pushed to a cave. They sealed the entrance and caught them on fire, and they have found red hair and they found bones in this cave, and I can't remember where it was at, but
it's, if I remember correctly, it's
is it out west?
It's out west.
Yeah.
I think southwest. I want to say somewhere in like Arizona, New
maybe
Mexico.
so. Yeah, there's just so much, man.
Yeah,
and I asked God, I'm like, okay, God, when I'm in heaven, could you? I know you can do this. Can you take me back to 10,000 years ago when the woolly mammoths and saber-tooths and the Clovis people were here, and just let me look at what's going on? And I'm going to ask him when I get up there, because I know he ain't got no time frame on him.
Listen, when we get up there to the home theater, I'm gonna be sitting right next to you.
Yeah,
I got some questions and some things that I would like to see.
Yeah.
It's amazing how, and this is again something we were discussing last night. It's amazing how, even if you refuse to acknowledge the Bible, you can't deny its truth.
Right. Well, everything they find in archaeology is lining up.
Right.
everything.
And the more they try to disprove it,
Yes.
the more it comes into line.
So this is how they do it. They're like, okay, the Bible says that you walk 10 paces to the east in Iraq, and you go 2 paces north, and there's going to be the city of whatever.
Yeah.
And these guys are going out following the Bible's directions
Yeah.
and finding this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If the Bible's fake,
Yeah.
how does it know about all these cities that are under 20 feet of
Right.
dirt?
Well, I mean, I saw I don't remember if it was a video or an article, but they were talking about Jericho.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe he was an atheist, but he did a study on the walls of Jericho.
Mm-hmm.
And if I remember correctly, he did it with the intent to disprove what happened. And he found that the way that the walls had collapsed, they weren't broken down. It was as if something had literally taken a massive hand and just crushed the walls into the ground.
You know, I seen a documentary on that too. And, you know, they went in and burnt that city to the ground, and it was during harvest season. And they find this city that's in underneath the ground. They find the walls. All of them's crumbled but one.
Mm.
And as they're going through the city, everything's burnt when they get down in there.
Yeah.
There's these huge, 8-10 feet tall pottery things filled with grain. Now, when Jericho got demolished, it was during harvest. They had just harvested all their grain. Now, when they went in and killed all of them and burned everything, they didn't take their grain. Everything burned up. They found these full of grain today with the top burnt. All that lines up. It lines up with the Bible. They went
Almost
in.
like it's right or something.
It's almost like he knew what he was doing.
You know, and that's I've very much gone down the rabbit hole because I'm an analytical thinker by nature. I spend a lot of time in my head, and for me, I'm very big on I just want the truth.
Yes.
And so I've done a lot of study on history and the Bible because, in my opinion, if I'm going to stake eternity on this, I can't afford to be wrong.
Right.
And, you know, you can't look at the world and deny that there is a God somewhere.
Right.
So for me, it's not a question of is there a God? It's the question of do I have the right one? And I've done a considerable amount of research. I've looked at the archaeology, and I've looked at the history and all of the different sciences. And I was talking to the guys about this last night, that as much as the media will tell you that science says God's not real, if you go to like the top of the scientists, they're all, for the most part, devoutly Christian, because the farther you go into science, the harder it becomes to deny the existence of a God.
Yeah, I've seen plenty of people, scientists, the same thing you're saying. They're like, man, I got into this, and I was like, I'm gonna prove this wrong, and then they just got hit in the face with, this is right.
Right.
Shroud of Turin.
Yeah.
Shroud of
Turin's a great example of that.
Shroud of Turin, in the 90s, I think it was, come across TV that it's fake. They pull blah, blah, blah. And then I just seen something the other day, and every little speck of everything is perfect. All the lashes on his body, the hole in his side, the reversed image of it, or the negative. It was beautiful. I loved that documentary.
Did you see where they were talking about like how an image like that would have to be created?
There's only one way it could be created, in a half of a second.
Flash of light.
Flash of light. Yeah.
Yeah.
Heat, I think they said something about heat.
Yeah. It would have to be like very, very intense light and heat in a sudden
Instant.
Yeah.
That you can't even millisecond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not even like a measurable form of time.
Yeah. That's a good watch. It really is. Well, man, I'm glad you got to come down and
Absolutely.
and talk, man.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get some more microphones when Shane comes over, and me and you just pick his brain,
I'd be down.
because I want to be all about this pre-Adamic race and the
Absolutely.
giants and the Nephilim in Genesis 6, and I can't wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am 100% here for it.
All right, brother.
I appreciate you letting me pick your brain.
Man, thank you for coming over.
Thank you for having me. All right, guys. Well, that's it for this episode. If you guys missed the last episode, you can click over here on YouTube. All of our links to the social medias are down in the description. And if you have questions, comments, concerns, or ideas for podcast episodes, things you'd like to see in the future, we have a Google form where you can come and talk to us. Other than that, I'll see you guys next time. Keep your heads on a swivel. Keep your shield wet. See you later.